The emergency siren screamed across the sky. Clouds of black smoke curled upward, glowing orange from fire below. The ground shook with every explosion. Buildings fell, one by one. And in the middle of it all, a human dropship came down like thunder. Derek held tight to the steel handle inside the ship as it hit the ground hard. The impact slammed him against the wall, but he didn't cry out. He had landed in worse places. He had survived worse storms. But this was different. He grabbed his bag and kicked the hatch open. Smoke hit him first. Hot, bitter, choking. Then came the sound of screaming. Alien voices. High, sharp, panicked. He ran forward, boots smashing down over broken glass and twisted metal. Fire crackled beside him. Something exploded behind him, but he didn't stop. The colony had been beautiful once. Now it was ruins. The enemy hadn't left much standing. Derek had only one job: evacuate any survivors. Nothing more. But then he heard it. A weak cough. A small voice. He turned toward the sound. A half-collapsed building stood in front of him. A steel beam had crashed through the roof, blocking the way inside. He climbed over it, careful not to let the burning metal touch his skin. Inside, he saw her. A small alien girl, maybe 10 years. Old in human years, lay under a pile of shattered stone. Her body was shaking. Her breathing was shallow. One leg was pinned by a heavy piece of wall. Her skin was pale blue. Her long silver hair was covered in dust and ash. Her big black eyes blinked up at him, full of fear. She didn't say a word. She didn't have to. Derek dropped his gear and rushed over. Hey, I got you. You're gonna be okay. She coughed again. Her chest moved fast, like she was out of air. He grabbed the stone and pushed with all his strength. It didn't move. He gritted his teeth and tried again. Still, nothing. Come on, he whispered. Not now, not now. He looked around, saw a bent support rod. He jammed it under the stone and used it like a lever. He pushed. His muscles burned. His shoulders felt like they'd tear apart. And then it moved. The girl cried out in pain. As her leg came free, he scooped her up into his arms. She was light, too light, thin, starving. She clung to him with tiny hands. Outside, the heat was worse. The sky roared again. He ran back the way he came, holding her close. As he reached the edge of the building, a shape stepped out of the shadows. She was tall, taller than him, a regal figure with long silver-white hair, deep violet eyes, and skin like soft pearl. Her face was stained with dirt and blood, but she still looked powerful. She saw him holding the girl and froze. Fiala, she whispered. The child lifted her head. Mother. The woman took a slow step forward, but her knees buckled. She fell to the ground, her arms spread wide. Derek rushed over and knelt beside her. Are you her mother? He asked. She nodded slowly. Her voice was soft but steady. Yes, I am Varela, matriarch of House Eleron. She's safe now, he said. You both are. Let's get out of here. He carried Fiala. He helped Varela to her feet. Together, they ran toward the evac point. But before they reached the dropship, Varela stopped. She turned to him. She bowed low, slow, with her forehead nearly touching the ground. Derek blinked. What are you doing? Varela looked up at him. With shining eyes, by the law of fire and blood, you're hers now. What? You saved her life. You risked yours? This binds you to us. You belong to her. Our bond is sealed. You are now protector. You are now family.
Wait, what?
Varela reached out, placed her hand over his heart. Her touch was warm. You are now part of our line, of me. Of her, he was about to protest, but Fiala looked up at him. Her little hand grabbed his jacket tighter, and she smiled. In that moment, the explosions felt far away. The fire seemed quieter, and Derek didn't understand what had just happened, but deep inside, he didn't hate it. Derek sat in the corner of the medical bay, arms crossed, eyes fixed on the stars drifting past the window. The alien girl, Theala, lay asleep in a cushioned medical pod beside him. Her breathing was calm now. No more coughing, no more ash in her lungs. A soft blue light hummed around the pod, scanning and healing her small body. She looked peaceful, but Derek didn't feel peace. The words Varela had spoken echoed in his mind again and again. You are hers now. You belong to her. To us. He had heard a lot of strange things during his time working with alien species, rituals, superstitions, ceremonies. But this sounded permanent, binding, like marriage or something close to it. He rubbed the back of his neck and looked toward the other side of the room. There she was. Vera, wrapped in soft, silky robes given to her by the medics, her long hair now clean and tied behind her back. She didn't look injured anymore. She looked composed, regal, and yet her eyes hadn't left him since the moment they entered the ship. She stepped closer, her bare feet silent on the metallic floor. You haven't asked what happens next? She said gently. Derek leaned forward, elbows on knees. I figured you'd explain. Varela tilted her head slightly. On your world, do people give their lives freely for strangers? I didn't give my life, I just helped. No, you chose. In the middle of destruction, fire and chaos, you chose to save my daughter. You carried her when you could have escaped alone. You fought for her. Derek frowned. She was just a kid. Of course I saved her, and that is exactly why the bond formed, she said. She sat across from him, close but not too close. She studied him, carefully, like he was something rare. In our culture, she continued, rescue from fire creates a sacred tie. It is called the Felntar, the joining of fates. One who risks all for family becomes part of that family, irrevocably. Derek shook his head. You mean like adoption? Her smile was small, slow. Adoption, ... marriage, ... unity. It depends on the ages and the bond. Theala has bonded to you already. You feel it, don't you? He looked at the sleeping girl. There was something there, strange warmth in his chest when she held on to him. A need to protect. A soft pull like gravity. And you? He asked. Varela's eyes darkened. The moment I touched you, the bond began in me too. Slowly but surely I fought it. Didn't want to burden you. But the law is older than either of us and our bodies. They obey it even when our minds resist. Derek stood and walked to the window, breathing slowly. This is insane. Varela rose and followed. It is ancient, not insane. He turned to her. What if I say no? It didn't answer right away. Dead, she placed her hand on the glass. Then the bond fades. Painfully, emotionally, it tears us apart. Theala will suffer. I will suffer. You, perhaps too. He wanted to argue. A memory flashed Theala's eyes, filled with fear as she clung to him in the flames. That smile she gave after the rescue. The way Varela had looked at him, not like a stranger, but like something claimed. He lowered his voice. What exactly does this bond mean? What are you asking of me? Varela stepped closer. To accept us, to let the bond complete, to be part of our line. In our culture, that means union. With Theala, when she comes of age, with me now. Derek backed away slightly. Wait, your daughter, Varela raised. A hand, calming. Not now, not soon. Only when nature calls it. But the connection is already growing. In both of us. It's not romantic now, it's protective, safe. But it will grow with time, just as our kind has always done. Derek was silent for a long moment. Then he asked, and you? Her gaze didn't waver. I'm ready. The bond with you has already taken root. If we delay too long, it will consume me. He stared at her. Her body, her stance, the way her voice trembled ever so slightly. She wasn't lying. She wasn't trying to trap him. She was scared. Not of him, but of what the bond would do to her if he turned away. He sat down again, his voice low. This is a lot to take in. She knelt beside him this time. I know, but let me show you. We don't rush love. We grow it, but we must begin, or the pain will come. As she reached for his hand, the lights dimmed slightly. A signal from the ship. They were approaching orbit. Varella's touch was warm. Calm, not demanding. You saved us, Derek. Now let us save you from loneliness. Just accept us. He looked into her eyes and didn't pull his hand away, and deep in his chest, the bond pulsed. Something had begun. Something that couldn't be undone. Asterisk, the ship landed on soft blue grass, under a dim violet sky. The alien world of Eleron was quiet now, no sirens, no fire, just the low hum of energy towers in the distance, and a cold breeze that whispered through. The trees like breath. Derek stepped off the ramp first, his boots crunching gently against the strange ground. Fiala clung to his side, her hand gripping his jacket. Behind them, Varela followed, tall and graceful in flowing robes of deep silver, her eyes watching every movement he made. An escort awaited them, 5 cloaked figures standing in a wide formation, heads bowed in respect. One of them stepped forward, an elder male with long curved horns and glowing tattoos on his face. Varela of House Eleron, he said solemnly. You return. Varela nodded. I do. The human saved. Fiala, the bond has formed. The elder's eyes shifted to Derek. There was no anger there. No judgment, only curiosity. He gave a slow, deep bow, and he must be taught. Taught what? Derek asked, his voice uneasy. The elder didn't answer. Instead, he turned and began walking toward a nearby structure made of white stone and crystal. Fiorella looked at Derek and motioned him forward. They will prepare you, she said softly. It is tradition. You must understand us fully. Derek hesitated. What does that mean? Fiorella stepped closer, her voice low and warm. Our kind does not unite through ceremony alone. We bond through experience, emotion, intimacy, connection of mind and body. He blinked. Wait, you mean not yet? She said quickly, sensing his thoughts. But you must learn what we feel, what we give. You must understand why this is not a game to us, why this is sacred. As Derek followed the elder into the temple, he felt the air change. The inside of the building pulsed with soft light. Strange scents drifted through the halls like spice and honey, sweet but sharp. The floor was warm under his boots, like it was alive. The elder led him into a circular chamber with a pool in the center, glowing with shifting blue energy. Symbols pulsed along the walls. Soft humming sound vibrated in the air, calming. Hypnotic. Remove your shirt, the elder said. Derek raised an eyebrow. Excuse me? You will enter the bonding waters. It will show you what she feels, what the child feels, what you feel hidden inside. After a moment of silence, Derek sighed and pulled his shirt over his head. The elder stepped aside. Enter. Water was warm, not wet, more like silk that wrapped around his skin. As he sank into the pool, a rush of sensation filled him. Images, sounds, emotions, like dreams being poured into his mind. He gasped as visions swirled behind his eyes. Young, fierce, proud, standing in fire, holding a baby. Theo low crying in the dark. Reaching out for someone who never came, then dash him. Standing in the flames, lifting Theola in his arms, her tiny body clinging to him. Feeling safety for the first time, and Varela. Watching him. Not with lust, not with desperation, with awe. As if seeing a being worthy of legend, the images changed. Varela laying her hand over her heart, her body responding to his scent, to his voice, to his presence. Her mind whispering, let it happen, let him claim me. I'm ready. Derek shot out of the water, gasping. The elder stood nearby. Now you know. He sat at the edge of the pool, his chest rising and falling. It's not just feelings, it's physical. Her body is reacting to me, the elder said. And yours to hers. The bond is awakening. You feel it, don't you, in your chest, your hands, your skin? Derek nodded slowly. He didn't want to admit it, but he had felt it even before the vision every time Varela came. Close. A soft pull. a heat under his skin. She wants me, he said, barely above a whisper, and the girl. She will grow into it, the elder answered. Fiala has bonded as kinfor now. But when she matures, the bond will shift, and she will want what her mother wants. Derek stood, water running down his skin. I'm not ready for this. No one ever is, the elder said, but your bond is real. You are one of us now. Outside the temple, Varela waited, her hands folded, her eyes hopeful. As Derek stepped out, still dripping, she stepped forward. Did you see? He nodded. I saw everything. Her voice trembled. Then you understand. What I feel. What I need. He looked into her eyes. It's not just biology, is it? No, she whispered. It's longing. It's destiny. Placed her hand gently on his chest. Stay with us tonight. Let the bond grow. Derek didn't move, but he didn't walk away either. Asterix that night, the stars above Eleron pulsed softly like breathing lights. The twin moons glowed in the sky, one silver, one deep blue, and beneath them, on a high hill wrapped in silver vines, stood the Temple of Union. Derek walked slowly beside Varela, his thoughts loud in his mind. They were surrounded by silence. Not empty silence, but a thick, sacred quiet. The kind that filled your chest. The kind that made every footstep feel louder, heavier, more important. Varela wore a robe unlike anything he had seen before. It shimmered with soft threads of gold, open at the sides, flowing like liquid light. Her hair was braided and pinned with crystals. Her back was bare. Her hands were steady. She looked both beautiful and dangerous. You don't have to do this, she said suddenly. Derek looked. Over. Her voice was calm, but her fingers trembled just once enough for him to notice. I know, he replied. They reached the temple steps. A shallow pool of glowing water ran down both sides like a river of stars. The doors opened without a sound. Inside, the chamber was round, wide, and empty, except for one thing, a bed made of crystal and silk, resting in the center. No walls, no curtain, no barrier between them and the ancient eyes watching from above. The ceremony of claim, Varela said, stepping closer. It is not just physical. It is the final step of the bond. It tells the spirits and our people that we have chosen. Derek didn't answer. He looked around. The air inside the chamber smelled sweet and sharp like passion. Like lightning before a storm, Varela reached out, slowly placing her hand on his chest. You've felt it, haven't you? The pull, the need, the heat in your skin? He nodded. His heart was beating too fast. He couldn't deny it. I don't want to force anything, she whispered. But the bond won't wait much longer. It's already affecting me. Every time I see you, I feel it deeper. Every time you look at me, my body. She stopped herself, swallowed. If you leave now, the pain will start. I'll survive, but it will leave a scar. Derek took a deep breath. This is more than a law to you, isn't it? She nodded. It was law at first. Now it's more. I want you. Because you saw me at my lowest and didn't flinch. Because you saved my child and didn't ask for a reward. Because you carry kindness in your voice, even when you're confused. Because Theala smiles now. Because I smile now. He stared at her for a long moment. Then he touched her cheek. Her skin was warm now, hot like something burning just under the surface. She leaned into his touch. You're afraid? He said quietly. I am, she whispered. This bond, it's not like your human marriage. Fuses body to body, scent to scent, thought to thought. You will feel me when I'm far. You will know when I'm in pain, and when I crave you. You will feel it too. Eric's heart thudded harder, and Theala, she will not be part of this yet, Varela said firmly. For now, she is only bonded in protection, but the link is forming. One day she will choose. And if you accept her, the bond will change, but only when she is ready. Not now. Derek exhaled. He looked up at the ceiling. The stars above were now visible through a clear dome. It felt like they were in the sky itself. Varela took a step back and slowly untied the first knot of her robe. Her shoulders slid free. Come, she said, not as a stranger, as our mate. His legs moved on their own. He stepped toward her. The moment he did, the lights dimmed. The temperature rose. The very air began to hum. He didn't know if it was magic or biology, but he felt it her heart, syncing with his, her breath matching his own. His hands moved to her waist. The robe slid away like it had always wanted to. She reached for him. They came together, slow, trembling, tense. When they kissed, it wasn't soft. It was hungry. When they touched, it wasn't careful. It was claiming. Time vanished. And in that moment, under stars older than Earth itself, the bond completed. Her back arched. Her voice filled the chamber in a cry that wasn't pain. It was release, connection, a sound of becoming. He felt her mind inside his, not words. Just emotion. Heat, relief, need, trust when it was done. They lay together in silence, her body curled against his, the bond pulsing between them like a second heartbeat. And then, a sound, a soft voice. Mother, Theala, stood at the edge of the room, eyes wide, not afraid, curious. Drawn dot, Vera, sat up slowly, the silks wrapped around her now like clouds. You felt it, didn't you? She asked her daughter. Theala nodded. It felt warm. I liked it. Varela looked at Derek. She's beginning to change, she said softly. And she will need your guidance too. You are ours now. All of ours. Derek didn't speak. He didn't have to. The bond was already answering for him. Asterisk, the morning after the bonding ceremony was still and quiet. Derek stood on the temple balcony, shirtless, the cool breeze brushing against his skin. He looked out over the alien city.
Towers
of crystal rose like mountains. Purple leaves swayed in the wind. The world felt peaceful. But inside him, there was a storm. The bond with Varela wasn't just emotional anymore. It was real. Physical. He could feel her heartbeat even when she wasn't near. Her thoughts brushed against his like feathers tickling. His mind, it didn't feel wrong. Just strange. Intense. He had given himself to her, fully, and now he wasn't sure where he ended and she began. He heard soft footsteps behind him. Theala. She stood quietly, her hair messy from sleep, her eyes still big and curious. Is it true? She asked softly. You are one of us now. Derek turned, smiled a little. I guess so. Theala stepped closer and wrapped her arms around his waist. Good. You make Mother happy. She hasn't smiled like this in years. He hugged her. Back. You make me happy too, you know. Her small voice grew even quieter. Will you stay forever? He paused and then nodded. I think I will. A sudden gust of wind tore through the air, louder than before. Sharp, violent. Theala's eyes widened. He's here. Who? Derek asked. She didn't answer, but from the courtyard below. Voices rose. Derek rushed down the temple stairs, Theala behind him. Varela was already standing in the main hall, dressed in tight ceremonial armored dark, red with a high collar. Her eyes were sharp now, her shoulders straight. She looked like a queen going to war. At the gates stood a figure taller than Derek, built like a tank, wrapped in bone-plated armor that clacked when he moved. His face was scarred. One eye glowed, the other was gone. He looked at Varela with a smirk that made Derek's fists clench. Kavron, Varela said coldly. Matriarch, he said with mock respect. So, the rumors are true. You let a human bed you? Derek stepped forward, voice calm. Got a problem? Kavron turned slowly. This is him? He sniffed the air. He smells like prey. Derek's jaw tightened. Varela stood between them. What do you want, Kavron? I want what was promised, he growled. You said no to me 3 cycles ago. You said you would only bond if someone proved worthy, if someone saved your line. But I was off-world. I couldn't compete. You were too late, Varela said. The bond is formed. It is done. Kavron laughed. A low, cruel sound. Not done. Not until I challenge. Derek frowned. Challenge. Varela turned to him. Ah, it is our right. A suitor may challenge the bond within 3 moons of its formation. If he wins, he takes the mate and the child. You would be cast out. Derek blinked. Wait, Theala too. Kavran smiled. Both of them. One fight. One winner. Varela stepped closer to Derek, gripping his hand. You don't have to do this. We can flee. Derek shook his head. I'm not running. He stepped forward. You want to fight, alien? Then let's do it. The cavern laughed. Oh, I will enjoy breaking you. Later that evening, the circle of claim was lit with fire torches. The crowd gathered in silence. No cheers, no music. This was not sport. This was law. Derek stood shirtless again, armor over his arms and chest, a long ceremonial blade in hand. He'd never used one like it, but instinct guided his grip. The bond whispered strength into him. Across the ring, Kavran cracked his knuckles and growled. The elder stepped between them. Combat for claim has been declared. Let the bond choose its champion. Step back. The horn blew. Kavran came. Fast. Derek dodged the first blow, but the second caught his ribs. Pain flashed bright. Kavran was strong, brutally so, but he was also arrogant. Derek dropped low, rolled, slashed across Kavran's thigh. Blood sprayed. The crowd gasped. Kavran howled, spinning around.
As.
His elbow caught Derek in the jaw, sending him crashing to the ground. Derek groaned, coughing blood. His vision swam. Then he felt her. Get up. Not a word. Just a feeling. A pulse. Her fear. Her love. Her trust. He pushed off the ground. His blade slipped from his fingers. But he didn't need it now. He ducked another blow and slammed his fist into Kavran's throat, then his elbow, then his knee. 3 strikes. Kavran stumbled, fell. Derek leaped on him and pressed a sharp bone shard to his neck. Yield. Derek growled. Kavran's good eye widened. Yield, Derek shouted. The elder stepped in, raising his hands. He yields, the bond holds. The crowd erupted in gasps and cheers. Varela ran to him, threw her arms around his neck, her lips pressing to his mouth. Theala reached him too, hugging his legs, tears in her eyes. You fought for us, she whispered. He held them both tightly. Always. Above them, the twin moons watched, and deep in his chest, the bond blazed like fire. The world returned in peace of sound. First, the steady hum of healing machines, the gentle wind brushing through crystal leaves outside, and the soft, trembling voice of a woman whispering his name, Derek. Please, wake up. His eyes opened slowly, bright light, a blurred ceiling. Then her face, Varela's, hovered above him, her eyes red, her lips trembling. You're alive, she breathed, as if she didn't believe it until just now. Derek tried to sit up, but pain lanced through his ribs. He winced and dropped back onto the healing slab. His chest was bare, bandaged tight. His knuckles were raw, his shoulder bruised. Kavran had hit harder than he thought, but Derek had hit back harder. You won, Varela said softly. Kept us. He gave her a weak smile. Didn't come this far to lose you now. She let out a shaky breath, her fingers lacing through his. They carried you from the ring, barely breathing. The bond kept flickering. Weak, broken. You were slipping, I don't remember much after the last hit, he murmured. I do, she said, climbing into the bed beside him, lying on her side. I felt it. Your pain, your fear, then your strength. Her body pressed gently against his, heat radiating from her skin. The bond pulsed between them, but it felt strained, uneven. Derek could sense it now. Something was wrong. Why does it feel off? Varela's face fell. Because the bond isn't finished. The ceremony joined us. Yes, but without physical completion during the cycle of moons, the bond becomes unstable. Derek frowned. But we were together that night. She shook her head. Not in the way the bond requires. What we did awakened it, but it must be sealed, fully owned the night after victory, when your blood is still high. When our spirits are aligned. And if we don't? He asked quietly. Varela didn't answer at first. She just looked at him, her eyes shining with something more than desire. It was pain, fear, longing. Finally, she said, then it begins to collapse. Slowly, but painfully. It pulls at the mind, the heart. Our skin will ache, our thoughts will split. We'll start to feel emptier every hour. And I'll go mad. From the need. Derek's throat tightened. You're saying this is killing you? Not yet, but soon. She pulled herself closer, her head resting on his shoulder. Please, let me complete it. Let me make you mine fully. Let me show you what our kind gives to a mate when the bond seals. It's not just pleasure, it's unity. Derek felt the heat rising between them. But this time, it wasn't just attraction, it was pressure. Like gravity pulling them together, he ran a hand down her back. Ah! Her skin quivered under his touch. What about Theala? He whispered. She is sleeping, Varela said softly. And she understands. She feels the bond too, but differently. For now, she accepts her role as child, not mate. Derek nodded. And later, when she grows, if she chooses, the bond will shift, but only with your consent. For now, I am your focus. Her hand slid down his chest, slow and careful. You've been strong, she whispered. Now let me be strong for you. Derek turned toward her fully. Her robe fell open at the shoulder. His hand traced the curve of her waist. Every inch of her skin burned beneath his fingertips. His body responded naturally, hungrily. But more than that, he needed her. His muscles ached with it. His breath caught because of it. She leaned over him, her breath warm against his ear. Let me complete the bond, Derek. Let me give myself to you fully. Body, soul, heart. If we wait any longer, we may not get another chance. He didn't answer. He simply pulled her close, and the moment their lips met, the bond surged like lightning in his blood. They came together. Not as strangers, not as two different species, but as one being, split by fate. Finally reuniting. Every kiss was a word unspoken, every movement a promise, and as their bodies moved in rhythm, the bond blazed through them, linking breath to breath, heartbeat to heartbeat, memory to memory. Varela cried out, her voice echoing through the room in a sound ancient and powerful. Derek held her tighter, grounding her, claiming her, surrendering at the same time. When it ended, they lay tangled in silken sheets, bodies glowing faintly from the aftershock of the connection. Varela's chest rose and fell slowly, her fingers still wrapped in his. It's done, she whispered. Derek exhaled. He could feel it now. No more strain. No more distance. It was like she had poured her soul into his chest, and now it pulsed with his own. The bond was sealed. But before he could speak, the door opened. Theala stood there, not surprised, just calm. I felt it, she said. Vera sat up, pulling the sheet over herself. You should rest. Theala stepped forward. I will, but now I know what it means to be chosen. And when I am ready, I will come to him too. Varela's hand found Derek's. When she chooses, and if you still want her, you will have to. Derek looked between them, Varela beside him, glowing with completion. Theala standing at the threshold, glowing with potential. He was no longer just a human visitor on an alien world. He was their protector, their partner, their mate, in the future. Would burn bright with passion, choice, fire. Asterisk 3 cycles had passed since the night Derek sealed the bond. The moons of Eleron hung low and bright in the sky, casting soft blue light over the capital spires. And in the high balcony garden of House Eleron, Derek sat in silence. A small figure curled against his chest, breathing softly, peacefully. A newborn. Her skin was pale lavender, her hair the color of early starlight. But her eyes, when they opened, were his, human, blue, curious, already strong. Varela stood behind him.
Oh.
One hand resting gently on his shoulder, the other stroking the infant's head. She looked radiant in the moonlight, stronger than ever, fuller, softer too. Her body had changed after giving birth, and yet Derek had never seen her more beautiful. "She has your spirit," she said with a soft smile. "In your fire," Derek answered. Kissing the baby's forehead, they named her Leora, which meant hope, after flame in the ancient tongue. She had been born not in pain but in joy, a bond child, a miracle, a symbol of the union that had once seemed impossible. Inside the house, Theala stood at a mirror, brushing her now waist-length hair. She had grown fast, as Virala had predicted, her body maturing with the quick grace of her species. But her heart, Derek noticed, was still gentle, still innocent, yet something had changed. She no longer looked at Derek as a child looked at a guardian. Now her gaze lingered, wondered, longed. One evening, just days after Leora's birth, Theala came to him alone in the garden. She sat beside him without a word, her eyes fixed on the stars, her hands folded in her lap. "I feel it now," she said softly, "the bond inside me. It's waking." Derek said nothing. He knew this moment would come. Virala had prepared him. Theala turned her face toward him, older now, but still new to desire, still testing the edges of love. "I'm of age, Derek," she whispered. "I've seen what you gave my mother. I've seen how she shines because of you. I want to feel that with you. I want to give myself to you, if you'll accept me." Derek reached for her hand, held it gently. "You're sure?" he asked. "I've waited. I've listened to my heart. And every day it beats louder for you. I know I was only a child when you found me, but now I'm more. And I choose you." The air was still between them. No rushing. No pressure, just truth. When they kissed, it wasn't wild. It was soft, new, careful, a beginning. And Virala watched from the balcony, not with jealousy, but with peace. She had known this day would come. She had been bonded once, long ago, to a cruel man. But Derek had changed everything. Now her daughter would never suffer as she had. In the seasons that followed, the bond grew stronger. Between all three, Virala remained his fire fierce, deep, eternal. Theala became his light tender, bright, endlessly curious. Together, they were one. Not broken pieces, but a whole. A family. When Derek walked the streets of the capital now, the aliens bowed their heads in respect. Children ran to touch his hands. Elders nodded with approval. The human who had once been an outsider was now legend. They called him the chosen flame, the male, who saved a bloodline, who loved without fear, who bonded with not one but two generations of alien nobility. And in the nights that followed, Derek would lie between the women who had chosen his world. His Starzan feel the soft breath of a daughter sleeping at his side. He had come to Alarn to rescue strangers instead. He had found purpose, found home, found love, wild, strange, sacred love. And in the arms of Virala and Theala, beneath moons, that no longer felt foreign, Derek finally understood what it meant to belong. He didn't rescue them, they rescued him too. Asterisk.